Hey everyone, and welcome back to History Pulse. Today, we're journeying back to colonial Brazil to uncover the story of a legendary warrior, a king, and a symbol of freedom whose legacy echoes through the ages. We're talking about Zumbi dos Palmares. To truly understand Zumbi, we must first understand Palmares. Imagine a kingdom, a republic of runaways, hidden deep within the palm-filled jungles of Brazil. For nearly 100 years, this was the largest and most organized community of escaped enslaved Africans, a beacon of hope known as a Quilombo. Palmares wasn't just a hideout, it was a sophisticated society with its own laws, agriculture, and a formidable defense system. It was a defiant no to the brutal system of slavery. Into this world of resistance, a child was born around 1655. Legend says he was born free in Palmares, captured as a boy, and given the name Francisco. Was raised by a priest, taught Portuguese and Latin, and introduced to Christianity. But the call of his people, the call of freedom, was stronger than any chains. In his teens, he escaped and returned to Palmares, shedding his given name and embracing a new one. Zumbi, back in Palmares, Zumbi quickly distinguished himself. He was a brilliant military strategist and a fearless warrior. His knowledge of the terrain, combined with his tactical genius, made him a nightmare for the Portuguese colonial forces who relentlessly tried to crush Palmares. He rose through the ranks, becoming the supreme commander of the Quilombo's army under his uncle, Zumbi, who was the king. Here's where the story takes a dramatic turn. After years of brutal warfare, the Portuguese governor offered a peace treaty to Zumbi, the terms freedom for the residents of Palmares, but they had to relocate and submit to colonial authority. For Zumbi, who had seen decades of bloodshed, it seemed like a reasonable compromise. But for Zumbi, it was a betrayal. He argued that freedom wasn't something to be negotiated, especially when it meant abandoning the thousands still in bondage on the plantations. Freedom had to be for everyone, or it was for no one. This ideological clash split Zumbi, championing total and uncompromising freedom, challenged his uncle's leadership. The details are debated by historians, but the outcome was clear. Zumbi became the new and final king of Palmares. He rejected the treaty and vowed to fight to the very end. For the next 15 years, Zumbi led a heroic, desperate resistance. He became a living legend, a ghost in the jungle that the Portuguese couldn't catch. He orchestrated daring raids to liberate more enslaved people, bolstering Palmares' numbers and spirit. Under his rule, Palmares wasn't just surviving, it was fighting back with a vengeance. The colonial government, infuriated and embarrassed, threw everything they had at him. They hired infamous bandeirantes, ruthless trackers and slavers to hunt him down. In 1694, after a relentless 42-day siege, the capital of Palmares, Serra do Macaco, finally fell to a massive Portuguese artillery assault. The kingdom that had stood for a century was destroyed, but Zumbi escaped. For over a year, he continued a guerrilla war from the shadows, a constant thorn in the side of the colonizers. His end came not in a grand battle, but through betrayal. One of his own captains, captured and tortured, revealed Zumbi's hidden location. On November 20th, 1695, Zumbi dos Palmares was ambushed and killed. The colonial authorities, wanting to crush his legend, displayed his head in public to prove that the immortal king was, in fact, mortal. But they failed. They may have killed the man, but they immortalized the symbol. Zumbi became a martyr for freedom, an icon of black resistance against oppression, not just in Brazil, but around the world. The date of his death, November 20th, is now celebrated as Black Awareness Day in Brazil, a national holiday to honor the contributions and struggles of Afro-Brazilia's Zumbi's story, is a powerful reminder that history is often written by the victors, but the spirit of the vanquished can inspire generations. He fought for a simple yet profound idea that all people deserve to be free. Thanks for joining us on this journey into the heart of rebellion. If you found this story as powerful as I did, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to History Pulse for more incredible tales from the past. See you next time.